Alright, what's up everybody? Navi here. One final campaign update
So,
to the Summoner
on the
build.
eve of the end, the demon
We
of
are here at the
Anahuac
end of the
has
campaign. Gonna check out how the single target DPS is working
finally
on the final boss of the campaign.
Ends now. Progress comes with a heavy price.
Looking not bad. Guess Doriani has to do some emoting here. This is kind of lame, like, you know, these points where these monsters get like ridiculously high damage reduction as it's like waiting to transition them into the next phase.
Ends now.
Like, there we go. Okay.
I must save my people.
A little bit silly, the way that that works.
It cannot be stopped!
No, I will succeed.
let me show you what true intellect.
Unexpected.
Alright. So, single target DPS still quite good.
No,
Don't fail me.
not now.
Not really an issue. And there we go.
This happened. All I've done.
Into the end game
Sacrifice.
on the
Your
minion
people
build.
cannot be saved.
So, after he drops his items here, I'm going to head back to my hideout. I'm going to do a quick little just summary of how my experience was with the campaign the second time around. Obviously, after a lot of the changes to 0.2, we'll do that here in just a second.
Let's just start
Okay.
talking then.
Oh my gosh, my inventory is actually full of loot. It's amazing.
If only there is an ancient
So will you-
place, but I will come
It's
to
settled then.
Alright. Got to go through a little bit of RP here with the NPCs. But in the meantime, you know, I still really enjoyed the campaign. Had a good time. I chose to wake up this morning, log on and play, because I
now then.
have been having a good time.
Activate
So, you know, overall, I'm still enjoying the game. I do have a couple of critiques about some things going on in the campaign that I'll talk about here in just a second. I do just want to get to my hideout here. Come on. Ziggurat Refuge.
So, I'm still alive
This
after being hit
whole
in the face
phase
by
of the game
captain.
here at the end still needs a little bit of...
There's a lot
like, I don't really even have any idea why we end up here. I mean, I do get it, but... I guess we just need to wait for the rest of the acts to come out for... Maybe this will make more sense. I don't know. Okay, there we go.
just a figures count.
Okay, so overall, you know, like I said, I've been having a good time. I did end up sticking with the same build pretty much the entire way through. I went with some Skeletal Warriors from my Scepter, Infernal Hound from my Ascendancy, 5-link Arsonist here that I used from the very beginning, as soon as I could equip them. Flame Wall to summon the Raging Spirits, and then I did tack on Flammability and Pain Offering here in the later half of Cruel, just for some extra single target damage to make sure that things went smoothly. I've already gone through the links on what is on all these skills in previous videos. It's not that revolutionary, so if you want to check those out, you can, but it's nothing that crazy. My gear has been pretty much the same for the entirety of Cruel. I think I did get a couple of upgrades here and there. Yeah, maybe these gloves and, oh yeah, these boots. I had these in my stash. These are actually probably pretty expensive. So, they're nothing that crazy though. It's basically, I just put them on for the 30 movement speed and the little bit of res that they've got. So, yeah, so overall, how did I feel about the campaign the second time through? Well, obviously it was a little bit nicer. Some of the monsters feel a little bit more fair, specifically the ones in Act 3, so let me see if I can find what I'm referring to. Okay, so here and Azak Bog actually both have some of these Azak monsters, and those feel a little bit better. I think they're called Azak Stalkers. These are the ones that have the hammer and they do like an overhead slam. Um, Still not exactly sure how those feel in maps right now, but those guys were insane. Like in maps on my Amazon, I was running into packs of these monsters, basically like sprinting in off screen in like a pack, like 4, 5, 6 of them, and all doing some sort of like synchronized slam, and that would just like one shot me. We're talking like white monsters. And granted, I was running an evasion character with like 85% evasion, you know. So those monsters were a little bit obnoxious, and I think they've been tuned down a little bit. I didn't really have any issues with them in the waterways or in the Azak Bog. Likewise, in Act 2 with the Ferrodin on specifically the Dreadnought and the Dreadnought Vanguard, those also felt reasonable. Granted, I am playing a pretty brain-dead and also strong build with, you know, pretty solid gear for the minions that I'm running. So maybe my build is just strong enough to where it doesn't even really matter what those monsters are like, but regardless, they didn't give me a big issue. The one thing that I will harp on again, you know, this does look like a lot of loot, but I mean, this is the total amount of loot that I collected from like 4 zones. So I didn't really go back to town after I went back into the past. So I cleared out Utsal, Agarat, and the Black Chambers, all 3, and maybe even Temple of Kopek, wherever that is. I don't know. And this is all the loot that I got. And, I mean, granted, this is a pretty nice amount of loot, so let's check it out. Let's see if we get anything good here. You know, on day 1, day 2 of the league, these boots would be reasonable, but no movement speed means goodbye. These are just trash, 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 and trash, and more trash. So, you know, can't say I'm super thrilled with the items I got there, but at least I did get some. And it looks like I might have gotten a little bit of an upgrade here to my life flask. That's nice. And so here we are. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty short video. Just wanted to update you, show you that I did finish the campaign. Still think there's a little bit of an issue with loot. They are addressing that at least a little bit in the next patch, which I think will be coming out early next week. I do plan to play a bit of endgame with the minion build here, see how things sort of feel as you get into maps. I want to try to get up into T15s, but I'm going to sort of set a little bit of a rule for myself. I don't really want to spend more than about 10 exalts per item. It's pretty late in the league. You can get some pretty good items for 10 exalts each, so I'm going to sort of set that as a limit for myself, because I do have some other characters that I want to play, and I want to have some currency to be able to flesh those out as well. So, and the economy's pretty much shot. I mean, unless you're like grinding endgame on a top tier character, you're not going to really be making any money. So, yeah, I'm going to try to ration my currency that I have left over from my original playthrough as much as I can. Yeah, so overall, thumbs up experience. Still had a good time, but still some things that need to be taken care of. We'll see if the 0.2.0G patch, which is supposed to raise the floor loot on bosses, we'll see if that helps at all. But personally, I still find it confusing how many rare monsters I run into that I kill that just drop nothing. Why are they a rare monster if they drop nothing? And when I say nothing, I'm talking about just today I had instances where a rare monster dropped 2 small piles of gold and an augment orb. I've had rare monsters drop like 1 white item and 1 blue item. this just doesn't feel like Path of Exile to me. Like, if it's a rare monster, it should be dropping a rare item, like most of the time. And I find that that isn't the case. It's like maybe 50-50 at best. Granted, I don't really have a whole lot of rarity on my gear. I think I have like one rarity roll on a ring, so maybe that's me, but I don't know. It just feels a little bit weird, and I think that the loot in general needs. They just need to do another pass on if they're happy with the amount of loot that's coming out in the campaign. I think in terms of the difficulty and the monsters and the zones, that all feels a lot better, but the loot still feels just really underwhelming, especially after coming back to the game from playing Last Epoch for a while. So, anyways, I'm going to spend a little bit of time today trying to get into a little bit of the endgame content, and I'll probably do an update video in the next couple of days showing you how that's going. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.